Leisha Lee, the host of Let's Talk with Victory. And last month we were on the topic rediscovering her. We talked about our roles as wives, mothers, daughters, as professionals, have a specific title in our careers. We got into that a little bit, but more of our identity, rediscovering ourselves as women in faith and women of faith. So this show, we want to talk more about our roles as women of faith in our jobs, talking about our assignments, talking about assignments versus our calling, and we're going to get into the broadcast now. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Victory. I'm Leisha Lee, here with my co-host Amira Blackwell and the ladies of Let's Talk with Victory, like it's a game show. Feel free. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like, share, and comment today on the topics that we're going to be discussing. Ladies, today we are going to talk about rediscovering her purpose. And we're going to talk about work, calling, and different things like that in different seasons. So, as we talk about purpose, work, and calling, as women, many of us have asked, am I doing what God has called me to do? Did I miss it? Is it too late? And we question ourselves sometimes in what we're doing in our lives, and at the point of our lives that we're in, things may not look like what we thought it would be. So my first question to you all, when you hear the word calling, what does it mean to you? You don't have to go too deep into it. You can just give a quick little synopsis, if you will. But what does the word calling mean to you?
God-given.
God-given, okay. That was quick. That's for everybody. That's everybody's answer. All right.
I was going to say your purpose that God has for you.
You said the purpose?
Your purpose that God has for you.
Okay. Now, have you ever questioned your purpose in a particular season?
Yes.
I know I have. I've been like, especially now, I'm like, God, you sure you want me to do this? This just came out of it. I wasn't prepared for this. I mean, I don't know if you talked it over, with the man of God, but all I can do is go with it.
Yeah, this right here. This was. Are you sure? Are you sure you want me? You want me up here with? Are you sure? Yes. This was. Are you sure that this what I'm supposed to be doing? Are you sure that I'm equipped for this right here? Yeah. Yes, definitely.
This definitely was. Are you sure for me? And everybody knows it.
See, so I think I don't want to get too far ahead, but I think that's we talk about purpose, we talk about calling, we talk about assignment, and we tend to kind of use them interchangeably. And it's not always the same thing. So when I think of calling, it's that deeper thing. It's I could be in the workplace, I could be at home, I could be with friends, but I still have the same calling. So where I show up, the same kind of gifts manifest. So yes, the stage for the show may be a different arena, but we're still, an encourager, an exhorter, someone who can give an encouraging word, someone who can low-key give a prophetic word, and it seemed quite matter of fact. I think the calling is there, the anointing or the gifting to do that specific calling is there wherever you show up.
Now that's taking me into my next question. Sometimes we confuse a paycheck with a purpose, and in that, it's like, how do you discern between a job, a career, and calling? What are your takes on that? Discerning discerning, is this a job? Is this a career, or is this a calling? And it could be something you love. Does that matter?
Because I think of assignment, right? An assignment isn't always lifelong. Some assignments are for reasons or for seasons. So at a certain time and place, I may be assigned to be at a workplace. My calling, I operate in there. My anointing or gifts, I operate in there. It's a part of my purpose, but it is not the completion of who I am, because the assignment or the location of that assignment or the purpose for it can change. So you're in a role, let's say you have a team there and you're assigned there for that season. You operate in your calling, you encourage, you share the word, you model Christ for other people. You get a promotion, you go somewhere else. and then the calling still stays the same. This is another group of people who needs to see Christ modeled in a professional environment. You still have your same, maybe a different anointing, because it's a different group of people. You'll need a different discernment. But the call, the burden to live for Christ, or to share the good news, or to be, whatever it is, an encouragement, an exhorter, is still operating in that new environment.
Okay.
For me, a job is anything I can go ahead, get a job anywhere, work, get that money, keep it moving, right? My career, blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, I think the career is what you put things into. Like, you go to classes for this, you get certifications for this, and some people just happen into a career, but after they do, they start preparing, getting more educated in it and things like that. And I believe that, like, I do two things. So I feel like one of them, I feel one is my purpose and one I'm called to it.
Okay.
Like, I'm just called, and I can't really put words to that to explain it, but one of the things I do is my purpose, because I do it in both. But one of them I'm called to do that, and I didn't kind of realize it until, one day you're just like having a conversation with God, and then looking over your life and like, wow, as much as you may not want to, I think the call is, as much as you may not want to, as much as it is you just do it, you just are it,
So let me ask you this. Have you ever tied your identity too close to your profession?
Yeah, like I'm a dancer, and so when a lot of the times when people ask me who I am, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a dancer. It's like, okay, strip dance away, strip taking care of kids away, all of these things that you do. What are you after all of that? And so it was at that point, and thinking about that for myself, that I had to realize, okay, these things don't make up who I am. They're a part of who I am, but they don't make up who I am. And so then that from there had to actually go and search. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're called to can make up who you are, in a sense. Like it is who you are. Like, this is your calling, is who you are, because I feel like sometimes your calling is what you have to I maybe not necessarily search for, but it's that thing that you would never even think of. Like it has nothing to do with your own brain pattern, because you would never consider it.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that you're called to it, because if you're not even considering it and then it shows up, that's how you know that it's God.
I wanted to touch on something. I wanted to go back 1 second and say it goes back to the scripture, many are called, but a few are chosen. But I think with the career part, it's something that you have to strive for longevity and for stability. And it is times that your calling in different seasons can change. Even though you're called to do that, it can change.
See, that's to me the difference between calling and assignment, right?
Right.
So then,
That's two different things.
Like, I think the danger, to go back to your last question, is that we make an idol out of a certain profession or a certain level or a certain title. So if that becomes your identity, I gotta be vice president, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there, I think then we get lost with identity, with calling, with assignment. Like, it's so easy. Like, I work in a financial industry piece. People make buku bucks, and I see that it takes their ego over. They will believe that they are that important, that significant. And that's not all of who you are. I know that God has another purpose. Like, he wants you to belong to him.
Right.
If your only desire is this title or this status or being on this board or this committee, like, you completely lost the plot. It's really about finding your true identity, purpose, calling in him, not a status. And we make an idol out of it. And so often, God's going to topple those idols.
I always say, if they would remove everything, all the materialistic things from people and everything, you have to still know, who are you? Because that shouldn't define you. Who are you without all of these? I've never said, and I'm not one to ever talk about any accolades or anything that I have or anything that I've achieved, but I always like, you still, that doesn't make you. But a lot of people allow those things to make them.
Now,
and it could be gone
what happens
that
though?
fast.
Yeah.
What happens
Yeah,
when God
that's it.
when God shifts your direction unexpectedly? What happens?
So that's why
At that
it's so
point.
important to know who you are and who has called you and the things he's placed on the inside of you, because the world we live in is temporal and temporary. Opportunities are fleeting. Doors close and open. Companies go up and down. Relationships can
Absolutely.
go up and down. Things can leave you in a moment's notice without asking your permission. So back to our, the focus has to be on Christ and what he's called you to do and on purpose, because so many things are fleeting. So if your identity dissolves as soon as you lose a title, as soon as you lose a job, as soon as you lose a relationship, as soon as you lose favor with a person, favor with a company, if that identity crumbles, it's not properly rooted and anchored in Christ Jesus and in his word.
Right. And the thing that I'm going to piggyback on what you all were saying is, like, when you have your true identity within you, or your calling within you, it doesn't matter what arena that you're in. If I'm a teacher, right, if my calling is to be a teacher, I can be in a classroom, I can be in a ministry, I can be in a grocery store, wherever it is, I am the core. I'm able to teach, right? So I think when you say, does it make you who you are, it's a part of who you are that you can demonstrate in any area or arena that you're in.
Now let me ask y'all this. Now, Mary, you're in your 20s now, right? So this kind of don't pertain to you a little bit, but I'm gonna ask everybody else. Did your calling, or what you thought was your calling in your 20s, did it evolve later on in life?
Well, I'm still in my
Your
20s.
I'm sorry, Miss
You're
Dawn.
not going. We on the altar of the Most High God. Let's reframe.
Well, what you thought was your calling, has that changed?
Yes, definitely. I'm sitting here, so yes, it has changed. I never saw me. I was raised in church, but I strayed away. But I never saw the ministries that I'm in, the things that I'm doing. I never saw that.
Yeah, this was, yeah. So, 20-year-old me. I'm only 25 right now, but 20-year-old me, yeah. I just wanted to, I was going to have a good time. I was going to party like it was 1999 every day. I just wanted to enjoy life, have a good life, make money and party, right? So no, I didn't see this, but I was the person that I am, just without the Christian principles, if you can say. So I was still a caregiver. I was still that person. Somebody said to me one time, you was always a goody-goody. I really wasn't a goody-goody, but I just wanted everybody to have fun, enjoy life. We don't need to fuss and fight. We just,
Right.
So I see that the things that I had them. That is me. That was me, and that is me now. But so much more enhanced, so much greater because I allowed God to come in. Yes. So much greater because I learned who I was, and I'm still learning, and I'm willing to, take on the principles of God and apply them, and I can reach so many more people now this way. So
I see the same thing. Like the same things were always there, but with maturity and definitely with Christ, the understanding and the reason is deeper. The sense of when to apply what is deeper. So it's been, like, I agree, Sheree, it's been there, but how you develop it and how you carry it out, especially through Christ, it helps with age and understanding.
That's it.
Wisdom, knowledge, practice, failures.
yes.
So for me, when I look back at my 20s, I would say that I kind of like tapped into it. But like everyone else, I think we all agreed that over time, through teachings and different environments and different exposure, it kind of evolves. Like now that I'm older, even though I tapped into it, but like she said, like when to use it, when to apply it, when to fall back, it all that helps with growth. Like that comes with growth, right? It comes with like exposure. It comes with learning and teachings and knowing the word and having a relationship with God and things like that. So I think, the older you get, it kind of like your calling will evolve with you.
I agree. I think as we get older, from like in 25, yes, I was still a go-getter. Yes, I was outspoken. Yes, I was in the high echelon. I was like, but business, like the assignment of what exactly I would be doing, that has changed. But as you do this Christian walk, it refines you, and it teaches you how to be slow to speak and not always going after or reacting towards the things that may be coming to you, but just to sit back and listen and not judge and take a step back before you respond.
Okay.
And that helps with directing you in terms of what you're going to do next.
Okay, Mira. Now this one is for you. As a young adult, I'm not too far from your age.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
But as a young adult, do you feel the pressure to figure things out quickly?
I was literally just saying that when y'all were saying like in y'all 20s, y'all was doing this, that, and the third. And when I was 16, 17, 18, I thought that's what my 20s were going to be like. I'd be like, okay, I'm in my 20s. I'm in my prime. I'm grown. I'm a go and do and all of this stuff that like people who are older than me that I seen them do and they be having so much fun. That's exactly what I thought my 20s were going to be. And lo and behold, God said, psych. And maybe that's exactly why. But kind of a little bit, because I feel like now that it has kind of taken me a little sooner, that the pressure is there, and because of all of the things that I'm doing in the ministry and just in general, I feel like I know that I am still young, so I don't have to necessarily have it all together right now in this moment, but there is a certain maturity that I do have to have about myself because of the things that I'm doing and the places that I'm going or have gone. So I definitely have felt the pressure, felt like, okay, I can't do what typical 20-year-olds do, or feel like, or do what somebody with my age would think a 20-year-old is supposed to be doing. Yeah. But I think that just with age in general, like everybody has this stereotype of you have to be a certain place by a certain age, or you 25, you should have this, that, and the third by that point. And so worldly pressures, I have felt that being 25, but like the purpose pressure and the calling pressure is much more gentle. Okay. Yes, you need to be equipped and prepared for all of these things, but there is no timing to it. Like yes, you have to get it, but God knows me better than I know myself, so he knows the time that he has to take with me, opposed to the worldly like opinions or anything that comes with the kind of, it's just such a harsh pressure. The world gives such harsh pressure.
Now, with purpose, you did touch on purpose. So with purpose, I think we all know that purpose doesn't pause when life changes. Absolutely. Purpose doesn't pause when life changes. Sometimes I feel like it does though. So I have a few questions, like quick questions to ask, and everybody won't answer each one, but for married women, how do you balance your calling with family responsibilities?
Pray.
Pray, okay.
Yes, I was going to say, first of all, seek God, pray, and prioritize.
Okay. Have you ever felt your purpose had to shrink for the sake of others? This is for anybody.
Me, yes, I had when I first became resaved, and I'll say with some family members, but I wasn't dimming myself.
Okay.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
For me, I didn't feel like it needed to shrink, but I did shrink it.
Okay.
for the sake of others. And it wasn't until somebody else told me that I did not have to shrink it that I realized that, yes, I can be there for others, but I can also and need to be there for myself first. Like, push my purpose and walk in my purpose as well, and also be able to do this and do that for other people.
Okay. Now, to my mothers, did you struggle to maintain identity outside of parenting? Did you struggle maintaining your identity outside of parenting? Or do you feel that was a challenge there?
If I'm understanding your question correctly, I don't feel like I struggle with my identity while still maintaining, being a mother, because I think through my identity and how I carry myself and who I was, I'm setting that example for my children. So I try to be very clear on my identity, like what I find acceptable in things that I do, because I feel like I'm modeling for my children. So I want them to look at me. I have to be sure of my identity so it doesn't make my kids fall, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we get overwhelmed, but very few mothers should or may lose their identity, because after a while you'll start seeing it show up in your child. So that, honestly, that is your identity. And so that helps you to know that you still have, you are you. And that also helps you to know what you need to change in you sometimes. But I don't ever feel like I kind of lost my identity. I feel like maybe sometimes I got overwhelmed and I needed to slow down and to prioritize, like you said, and to change the pace or reevaluate. But I don't feel like I lost my identity.
I feel like, and I agree with Sheree, I feel like she said, your identity is your children. Like, your standards, the things that you're showing your child as you're walking in front of your child, that's building your identity of who you truly are. And it's also showing them who they should be in the walk with God as well. I also believe that you don't necessarily lose who you are. It helps you to grow in many situations.
Okay. For the single women, how has this season shaped your focus and calling?
So I'm on this thing about focus, and laser precision, because I realized, just me personally, it's so easily to be distracted. You can be distracted by things that really look good for you, some of the things you want, but the focus of getting back to, it's not that the purpose or the calling ever left, but in things that are not primary, things that are not first, they absorb your purpose and absorb your calling. It goes to waste. You cast your pearls before swine. You sow on tares, and you don't get any fruit from that. So it's good to clear those distractions. Sometimes farmers have to burn the fields, right? Because everything that's been sown there is no good, and it's time to sow again. So for me, like, that refocus on making God first, falling back in love with my first love, keeping my title or purpose as a daughter. I'll always be a daughter to God. I might not always be a natural daughter. I may not always be employed. I may not always be somebody's girlfriend, best friend, whatever. But I'm a daughter of a king. That is going to be my focus.
All right.
That's good.
Now, purpose isn't just for one season. It evolves. So, how do you trust God when one chapter closes before the next one begins?
You stand on faith. Faith. That's the main thing.
You said faith.
You stand on faith. Yes, you have to believe and persevere.
Lately, I've been saying, like, if the word says that my steps are ordered, then this must be for me. If I know that I'm not reaching out and changing this and doing this of my own will, then my steps are ordered. So I have to trust God and what's going on, and just be patient to wait for the next chapter.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In every way, acknowledge him, and he's gonna make your path straight. It's so easy to try to understand, and to use our human intellect to sort things out. But the ability to rest in a faithful Father, that our steps are indeed ordered, and that if he's bringing me to this, he's gonna bring me through it. And he's not done. So trust him.
Be anxious for nothing. Stand still and watch God work. Because many times, we want to jump out there. It's uncomfortable. It may not be, okay, if that door closes, okay, I can't be without. I have to jump and hurry up and get something else. And God's saying, no, be patient and wait. I'm going to open that door for you. I'm going to make that path straight. I'm going to place you where exactly you're supposed to be. Because in placing you, your purpose is maybe for the people that are there in this new arena, but you might be trying to go somewhere else and do something else, and that's not your purpose. That's not your calling.
Now, in doing that, sometimes we don't miss our calling, but we delay it. So, did fear ever keep you from stepping out on your calling, on something that God called you to do?
Yep. 100%. I have allowed fear to dictate a huge portion of my life. Lord have mercy. And I think it was not the fear that I couldn't do it, but there was a fear of the way that I do it, the end result wouldn't be like everybody else's. And I'm realizing now that that is the way that it's supposed to be, because if my end result is like somebody else's, then there is no need for me. And so we can Cherie can reach a person that I may not be able to reach. I can reach somebody that she may not be able to reach. And so fear of not being as impactful as somebody else has definitely helped me, and fear of like the amount of support that I had put out I wouldn't be getting back, that has held me, or just simply like I don't know. I have definitely allowed fear to my emotions to hold me back from a lot of stuff, and because of that, when I got in the mode of, okay, I don't have to be fearful, now I try to like play catch up, and so now I'm trying to rush everything to make everything happen, or to get to the same place where everybody else is, when I realize is that I can take my time. Like, I don't have to be where everybody else is. My path is my path, and it doesn't have to look like anybody else's.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Mira. Don't try to be someone's equal. So if you're striving to do something, try to be above them. Don't try to be.
I was going to say I have fear of responsibility. Fear that I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it good, and now everybody want me to be responsible for it. So I will not do it. That's real. Like, that is my real life. Fear of responsibility. So that's why a lot of things I'm not in charge of, even on my job, because I'm going to do it well. Do you want to? No, I do not. And I honestly am working on that, because I think that sometimes that stops from where God is trying to take me, even in ministry. Fear of responsibility. I'm not giving that suggestion. Sounds good if somebody gives it, but please don't ask me to do it. Please don't ask me to be on this show. Please don't ask me to do, like, I'll step in, but I don't want to do it, right? So that's my fear of responsibility.
Now, how do you know when God is stretching you versus redirecting you? When God is stretching you to do something versus redirecting you to do something. And sometimes, like, when I think about that, I feel like if he's stretching me to do it, I know I can do it. It's not necessarily a responsibility for me to do it, but I can. So let me stretch and do this for somebody else. Not saying it's for somebody else, but in all actuality, it's like what I'm doing is for somebody. There's a reason for that I'm doing it, because somebody else is watching, and that has to be done in order for them. Might give them a little push. Versus redirecting where, okay, that part is over and this is where I need you to go now because you've completed the assignments over here, so you pass to the next level. It's nothing else to do here.
I would say when you're being stretched, ask yourself, are you becoming overwhelmed? Is it overbearing? You know, and analyze that part because like they say, God is not going to put too much on you that you can bear. So you don't want to be stretched too thin. And if you are stretched too thin, what is the purpose for it? You have to, and what am I being stretched for?
Oh
You
my
know?
gosh. Guess what? We are out of time.
Wow.
We are out of time. We are out of time. Oh my gosh, thank you to our viewers for tuning in. We was getting into a good discussion here. I do want to close with this, Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who are called according to his purpose. Thank you to Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries International for allowing us to be a part of your vision. And until next time, bye-bye.